Migo in the Secret Garden, written by Laurie Polidorus, illustrated by David Cockcroft. Grounding about gardening. Roses, oregano, raspberries, Migo Ventura was excited. The weeds, the thorns, the smell. Working in the family garden was not how he planned to spend his summer. We need your help, his dad said, to grow food for the shop. Michael and his little sister, Taras, often lent a hand at the Ventura family sandwich shop. Gardens, Michael's dad glanced up, can be massive. Yeah, right. The earth had healing powers. His dad cut a bouquet of yellow roses. The peace could you do some good. I don't want peace, Miko said. I want adventure and danger. Dad rolled his eyes. Miko looked a brick in the coolness of the shop. Mom and Teresa were baking bread, so he sneaked away to the loft. He was in desperate need of the great Galador book. A while back, Miko has discovered this full magic book that belonged to his great-grandfather George. A magician called the Great Galador. Miku went into the store as an actual character. He would become Huckleberry Finn from the Adventure of Tom Sawyer and the Scarecrow from the Wizard of Oz. Every time Miko entered a story, he usually had solved a big problem. Sometimes it was pretty dangerous, and danger was what Miko needed. After a laugh, a red feather rested near the rusty lock of the chest. When Miguel first chose one of the Grey Galador book, he usually found strange objects from the story. Miguel spent 2 hours trying to figure out how he became a real, live character in a book. Was it a spell? An enchantment? The Grey Galador magic could be risky. Maybe it was a curse. A colorful book sat atop all the others. He picked it up. The Secret Garden. It was a good book he remembered from the beginning of the year, but it wasn't dangerous enough. Miko tried to choose another, but the lid had closed. The chest was locked. Once a book had magically been chosen for him, there was no going back, so he opened to page 181. The robin flew from his green spray ivy. The squirrel scrambled on the page, drew on of the and he loud, open top his unsand beak a wall lovely. Dizziness swept over Miko like wave. He closed his eye, and a gust of wind swept him up, lifting him high above until he felt weightless. Like air? Was he flying? Bird talk. Miko was flying. He saw miles and miles above green pasture, with gusts of wind. The air flowed under him, lifting him higher. He rocked it through the air, flapping hard. Flapping? Miko tried to extend his arm, but found that he had wings and feathers instead. I'm the robin, he said as he began to flap his wings. Never in any Grey Galador book has Miko become an animal. He pointed his beak and dove downward. The crowd rushed up at him at all. He were fast forwarding a movie on the screen. With wings spread wide, the wind pressed against him, but the feather insulated him from the cold. Being a bird was incredible. A big gust of wind rushed through the oak tree and lifted trailing spray of undried ivy. During the gust, Miko noticed the wall between the vines. Could this be the secret garden in the book? Scooping down with the next gust of wind, he saw things in patches, almost as though he were looking at a map, one grid at a time. Details popped out as though they were three-dimensional. Miguel zeroed in on a section of the brick walls. He fluttered around and around in the ivy until one more big crust of wind lifted up a thick patch, revealing a crowd door knock. It was the entrance to the secret garden. A small wave of excitement flittered through his feather. But his first time thinking about the story soon returned. There was not going to be the exciting adventure he hoped for. He regretted having climbed into the loft. A whistling sound drew him down and around the garden, where he found a man tending the roses. That has to be Ben, one of the crowd skipper. Miguel fluttered above his head. You are at it again. Today, Robin, Ben said. Marie is over there. Miguel rose on an updraft and cruised above the trees again. He caught sight of a young girl, sitting in the altar as though she locked something. Miguel let a current of air gently lower him to a brand of Evie. Follow me, Mary, he squawked at her. There's something I must show you. Mary stared at him and cocked her head. He quickly remembered that Robin didn't speak English. He worked with only jobs and tips. He tried again, but no matter what he said, it came out something like cheerily, cheerily, cheer up. How could he get Mary to understand him? He hopped up and down, flapped his wings, and bobbed his head. What a strange bird, Mary said. Miguel shook his head off, back and forth. He stood 1 foot to get her attention. Miguel belted out the best bird song he could muster, but as hard as he tried, the song came out sounding like whispering words hissily. Mary smiled. Thank you for your song, dear Robin, but I'm trying to find a lost garden. That was my own favorite place. She kept away down the path, leaving a mozzarella full birds behind. There was going to be tougher than he thought, because frustration was building. How could he talk to her if she didn't speak his language? A snack for a fox. After a little nap in the oak, Muggle awoke to the grumbling of his stomach. He fluttering down to a rock. A tiny golden fish headed downstream in a creek, too fishy for land. A squiggly earthworm squirmed in the mud below him, too mushy for a snack. Too fishy for lunch. A squiggly earthworm squirmed in the mud below him, too much. Miguel sighed. If he didn't find something sweet soon, he had no energy to help Mary find the secret garden. He flew up and away when he noticed a large patch of sunlight with rows and rows of wincing plants. As he landed in the field, a sweet scent wafted through the air. It was a vineyard full of plump purple grapes, just right for lunch. He pecked away at the fruit, which restored a bit of his body energy with each morsel he ate. Amid the feast, Miguel heard a strange sound. It was soft like flute, but lighter, almost like tree blowing in the breeze. A boy with rosy cheeks walked up to him, flew his hair. Hello, fair Robin. Several squirrel and a small rabbit picked out the bucket and worm jacket. A little red fox followed at his heels. This must be Mary's friend, Dickon. He had a knack for talking with animals. Surely he could help Magoo. I need to find Mary. Magoo chirped. Slow down. I don't speak Robin very well. Dickon chuckled as he sat down on a stump. The fox hopped in his lap. I need to find a girl named Mary. Miko tried to speak clearly, but he knew that each word was merely bird chatter. Mary. His words spilled out like bird alarm. Tuck. Robin talk was indesirable. Miko stared at Dixon, willing him to understand his request, but instead, the dark-eyed fox stared back. Miko froze, quickly realizing that he was the perfect size for Tessie Street. Tell me again, Robin, Dixon said, but before Miko could utter one little chirp, the fox's eye narrowed and its ears stood erect. Miko's heart raced. He had to get out there, now. With a swivel of his head, Miko lifted a wing. The fox lunged. Stop! Cried Dixon. Miko glanced back. He felt his wing but found it difficult to fly in a panic. He ran for God. But every time he tried to lift off, the box bent over. For a moment, his wings seemed useless, so he hid In a fellow log, a narrow snout saw it weighing Miko's screeched, fluttering out the other side. He waddled forward, flapping his wings. His feet rolled off the ground. He flapped, pump, 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 till they began to fly. The guard squatted him down. A punch shot through his body. He hit the ground with a thud. He tried to stand, but his wings felt heavy, as though he wore an iron blanket. The eyes of the fox burning too. It hissed. Miko fluttered. Then all went dark. As they walked in, Miguel felt a tingle of energy soar through his body. Colin gasped. Mary ran in circles. Dixon laughed with joy. They had found a long sought after garden. However, the once beautiful garden now had winds covering everything, and most of the other plants seemed to try and lifeless. But Miguel knew the trio could bring it back to life. Miguel knew that because of his help, the poppies, roses, and hollyhock could be in full bloom. Mary could be entertaining Colin and Dixon, and Colin would need to his wheelchair less and less. Maybe Miku that was right about gardens. They are places healing. Miku lifted off the ground and circled clean and garden a few times. He looked out for three smiling kittens, then spot shot through the cloud. Before he knew it, it was home quite aloft. The lavender rose lay on the top of the chest. Back outside, Megoda was still pruning the roses. He held pocket full of color, all except lavender. For the first time, Mego found he enjoyed the sweet scent of roses. He started to look up. Back from your break? Mego nodded. He grabbed a shovel, slipped on his glove, and pulled on the cap. This is for you, he said, handing his dad a lavender rose. Thanks. For what? For this. He waved his arm around the garden and then started working.